Hi everyone. In previous classes we had discussed about the what is the computer and the characteristics of computer and basic architecture of the computer and input output devices, next classification of computers and software concepts. So now we are going to discuss about what are the functions of operating system, what is the operating system, and also what is the functions of the operating system. So operating system or OS it is the interface between the hardware and user. Operating system means it is an interface between a user and hardware of the computer. Means an operating system is a software which performs all the basic tasks of the computer. Means whatever the functions that are going inside the computer, everything is look into this operating system. So that is what an operating system is, a software which performs all the basic tasks like file management, memory management, process management, handling input output, and controlling peripheral devices such as disk drives and printers. Every function is under control by this operating system only. So it is nothing but just it is the interface between the users and hardware of the computer. Hardware means the hard disk drives and RAM slots and PCI slots, AGP slots, and all those things, and also the functions of the computers like file management, memory management, process management, handling input and output, and controlling of peripheral devices. All things are under control by this operating system only. So here an operating system is a program that controls and coordinate the use of the hardware resources. What are the hardware resources that are existed inside the computer cabinet? That is mean CPU cabinet. CPU cabinet, we all have this kind of hardware resources on the motherboard. Okay, RAM slots and hard drives, and the next PCI slots, AGP slots. So all the hardware equipments are associated on the CPU cabinet with the help of the motherboard. So what kind of resources are there? Example, the CPU is there, memory is there, input output devices is there. Okay, CPU means central processing unit, and memory is for hard drives, primary memory and secondary memory. Next, input output devices like keyboard, scanner, mouse, all those input devices, and printer, speakers, monitor. These are all the output devices. And secondary and tertiary storage, modems, monitor, etc. All these are under comes to the resources of the hardware computer. So here some popular operating systems will include Linux, Windows, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Solaris, etc. So here what are the types of the operating systems? Okay, how many types of the operating system are there? Means there are so many manufacturing companies are there. Productive companies, so many are there in the present days. So each manufacturer provides and produce each type of a operating system. For example, there is a Linux is there. Okay, Linux company provides the Linux operating system. Next, Microsoft company provides the Windows operating system, and Mac OS produced by the Apple computers, and Ubuntu and Solaris, etc. These are all the types of operating system, and these operating systems are used depends upon the user's specifications. What kind of requirement he had, then he is going for a specific operating system. Okay, why? Because you can't do all the works with Windows, you can't do all the works with Mac OS, you can't do all the work with Ubuntu. So the specified way that we can choose this kind of variant operating systems. So for example, you can take the Windows operating system for generally in our personal computers. But in software companies, they are going to use the Solaris and Linux, Mac OS. These kind of operating systems are going to be work in software companies and MNCs. Okay, next, control program. So what is the program that embedded into this operating system? The computer means OS controls the execution of various programs to ensure the proper use of the hardware resources and to prevent the errors. See, OS is nothing but operating system. Everywhere it is operating system is going to be represented with the OS only. OS controls the execution of various programs to ensure the proper use of the hardware resources and to prevent the errors. So here operating system always controls all the usage of the hardware resources. Hardware resources means I already explained CPU, memory, input output devices, and so all these things are under control by this operating system only without executing errors. It's preventing errors means it helps to without executing errors in hardware resources. And it is going to be a coordinate. It is going to be a coordinate in between the users and all the applications softwares. Application software. See, this is the OS acts as a manager of underlying resources and deallocate the resources efficiently and fairly. So the operating system is going to be allocate the tasks to the hardware resources. What is the work has to done with which resources. Okay, that is what the function of the operating system. So here you can observe this picture. So here the user 1, okay, the user 1 and user 2 and up to user n, the number of users can connect it to a computer. Okay, so here for example the software is this is the software. What is a software concept? So we have a system software is there and application software is there. So the system softwares and application softwares are connected to this operating system. Connected to operating system, and this operating system, see the system software means the BIOS is there, basic input output system is there. The basic input output system is such a kind of a system software. Okay, it's permanently embedded into the computer's motherboard. And application software means the applications that are using for your to complete your or to fulfill your needs, like a browser is a application software, and like apps, next movie player, music player, okay, and browsers, okay, and all those things are the application software. So the system softwares and application softwares are connected to this operating system, and later the instructions, okay, based upon the user instructions, the operating system sends the information and it assign the task to this hardware resources, assign the task to the hardware resources, and it will retrieve the information again from the hardware resources, and it give the submit to the users as a output result. Okay. So here operating system assign the task to the CPU, RAM, and input output devices. This is the way how it is going to be processed with the help of the operating system in computers, in between the computer hardware and in between the users. This is the process how it is going on. So the user sends the instruction, okay, based upon the system software and application software. Okay, by using this system software and application software, user sends the instructions to the computer, then operating system receives them and keep in order, and then it is going to be allocate the task to this hardware resources. What is the work it is going to be done. See, and what is the OS and why we need this? Okay, what is the OS, why we need this, and what happened without having the operating system to the computer? Why we need this operating system or OS means the convenient and efficient use of the computer hardware resources. The way how we are utilizing the services of the hardware resources, like CPU and RAM, input output devices, and all the hardware resources. Okay, we must utilize the services with conveniently and efficiently. So there are some major functions are there provided by the operating system in the computer. And those are functions of operating system. So what kind of functions that are going to be taken by this operating system? What is the purpose of operating system, and what is the functions that are going to be involved in this computer's process? There are many functions those are performed by the operating system, but the main goal of the operating system is provide the interface between the user and hardware. Okay, it is going to be, operating system is going to provide the interface. It acts as a interface between the user and hardware. So what is the interface? What is the function of interface? Interface means what the user sending the information, sending the instructions to the computer, and how it is receiving. Okay, what is the process going in between the user instructions and the hardware resources. So everything will be looked into this by this operating system only. So it is acts as an interface between the user and hardware. User means nothing but user instructions. What is the user is expecting, okay, where it is going to be done by the task with the help of the hardware resources. That is what it is going to take care of by this operating system. So for example, what kind of functions are existed? Means there are many kind of functions are there, but some of them important functions are there. One is memory management, another one is processor management, device management, file management, security, control over system performance, and job accounting, error detecting aids, and coordination between the other software and users. So in the important concepts of this functions of the operating system, the first one is memory management. So memory management means the primary memory or main memory plays a key role in memory management. Why? Because in main memory is a powerful memory in the computer, because the operating system is loaded from the main memory only. The operating system, when you switch on the computer, the operating system is loaded from the main memory only. So this main memory is a very large array of words. Large array of words means the instructions which are sent by the user is going to be stored in first main memory only. Okay, main memory only. Okay, in this array of words are nothing but instructions. Instruction means a collection of words or letters or whatever it is, sentences. So here, and each and every word or a byte has its own address. I already explained you in assembly level language. So where in mnemonics, every word has its own address in the computer. Okay, so that is what going to be stored in main memory. Okay, the main memory provides a fast storage that can be accessed directly by the CPU. So until you save the information from the main memory, it will stay on the main memory only. Once you save it, then it is go to secondary memory and stored permanently. Okay, until unless the memory stored in the primary memory or main memory only. So this is the fastest memory of the computer, then the secondary memory. Why? Because it is directly accessed by the CPU within a short time. So that is why coming to the secondary memory, the instructions has to received by the operating system. Again, it is going for searching for the address of the information, then it is retrieving the information from secondary memory, then it is going to be processed, and then it is going to be displayed to the user. So it takes very much long time. But coming to the main memory, it directly retrieves the information to the user from the main memory. It retrieves the information from main memory by the CPU and directly display on the output devices. This is why only the main memory is a very fastest storage unit. Okay, there is an operating system does the following activities for the memory management. What kind of functions that are steps going to be performed in the memory management by the operating systems are. So here the memory management, in the memory management the operating system are going to perform like this. It keeps track of the primary memory, that is what part of it are in use by whom and what part are not in use. So the entire main memory is allocating the memory to the several applications. For example, in your mobile you can use multiple applications at a time. For example, you open a music player, and another side you can use your Facebook, and another side you can use your WhatsApp, another side you can use another application. So there are 5 applications is presently running in your device or computer or mobile, whatever it is. So then here the operating system is equally divides the memory, equally divides the main memory to all the 5 applications. Okay, for example, your main memory capacity is 2 GB is there. Okay, so what is the application, the first application, Facebook, how much it requires? It is going to be distributed the required memory. And what is the WhatsApp it is required? It is going to be distributed accordingly. And what is the music player required? It is going to be distributed accordingly in 2 GB only. What is the capacity of the RAM or main memory or primary memory? It is going to be distributed accordingly, depend upon the memory it requires by the applications. If you open the 5 applications, the 5 applications, it is going to be divided accordingly the main memory by this operating system. See here, in multiprogramming, the OS decides which process will get memory and when, how much. In multiprogramming means you are using a multiple application softwares in your computer or mobile, whatever it is. So the OS decides which process will get memory. Okay, in which process the memory gets and how much memory it requires. So the operating system going to be allocate the required memory accordingly by the application and based on the user instructions. So it allocates the memory when process requests, it is to do so. Whenever the application is required the memory, the operating system is going to be allocate the required memory, efficient memory to complete the task within a short time. Okay, that is what the operating system job in memory management. And next, immediately deallocates the memory when a process no longer needs it to has been terminated. So for example, you open a Facebook account or Facebook application in your mobile phone, but you are not using, just you open it and you keep it aside and you are working on another application for a long time. So at that time the operating system is going to deallocate the memory. Okay, deallocate the memory and terminate this accessing the memory from the main memory. It is going to be terminate the process of accessing the memory from the main memory. So this is what the job done by this operating system in the form of a memory management. In a memory management, the operating system, the major thing is it is going to be allocate the memory from the primary memory or main memory to the individual task to complete successfully. Okay, that is good. Once the job is done with one application or one program, then it is going to be deallocate the memory and it's going to be terminated. So this is what happen in memory management system by the operating system. And next, process management. What is the process management and what is the thing that are going to be happen in this process management by this operating system? Okay, next coming to the processor management. Processor management means the operating system, how it is going to coordinate the microprocessor. Processor means microprocessor. What is the job of this microprocessor? Microprocessor means it is going to be process all the instructions. Okay, all the instructions received by the user and it will complete the process and it sends the results to the user. So this process is under control by this operating system only. So how it is going to be controlled means, let's see. See, in multiple programming environment, the operating system decides which process gets the process when and for how much time. For example, if you open one application, okay, you open one browser. Okay, you open browser and you have searching for something. Okay, so you are searching for something means you are sending the instructions to the computer to retrieve the information what you require. Okay, nothing but in the browser you are searching for something means you are requesting to the computer to retrieve the information what it is required by you. So immediately the instruction goes to the operating system and it go to the main memory. Okay, the main memory means the operating system sends the instruction to get processed to this microprocessor. Then once it is processing is completed, then it retrieve the information what required and what is associated with your instruction. Then it is used in the form of output, that display output devices, the monitor, speaker, whatever it is. So that is what the processor management is going to happen and controlled by this operating system. So how it is going to be happen, and what are the activities that are going to be done in the processor management means it keep track the processor and the status of process, and the program responsible for this task is known as traffic controller. For example, the user working on 4 applications or 5 applications, as earlier we taken 5 applications. One is a Facebook, one is WhatsApp, and one is browser, and one is a worksheet, and one is Excel sheet, and one is PPT. Take no problem. The 5, so simultaneously the user working on 5 applications. So here the first what is the task is going to be assigned to this microprocessor. Okay, so here it is the processor management. In the processor management, operating system is going to be divided. Okay, this is divided, so it is going to be allocate some process for the first task, and another process for second task, and another process for third task. So simultaneously the 5 applications are going to be processed simultaneously with the help of this operating system. Okay, so otherwise how it could be means, first the task 1 completed, then only it is going for the second task. If the second task is completed, then only it is going to be for third task. Third task is completed, then only it is going to be start the fourth task. If the fourth task is completed, then only it is going to be start the fifth task. But here not happening like this. The 5 tasks are going to be start at a time and complete accordingly. Okay, so this is the way how it is going to be controlled in the processor management by the operating system is like this. With the help of the traffic controller. Traffic controller means you working on 5 tasks at a time. So how much processing thing is going to be scheduled for first task, and the next what is the processing schedule is accordingly for second task, third task. It is going to be divided accordingly by this operating system in this processor management, and it is going to be allocates the processor. It is going to be allocate the processor CPU to process. Okay, how much what is the capacity of the processor it is required to complete the process. So the same thing the operating system is going to be allocated. Once the task is completed and it is no longer in use, it automatically deallocates. Okay, there are 5 tasks are currently running. Okay, so it estimate the what is the processor it is going to be allocates for a process. It allocates for all the 5 tasks. So once all the tasks are completed, it going to be deallocates the processor when the process is no longer required. So that is what the processor management controlled by this operating system. Okay, the next work is device management. Device management is nothing but the devices are connected to the computer, whether it is input devices or output devices, external devices, whatever it is. So the devices are associated to the computer. It is going to be maintained by this device management. So how it going to be operate? So an operating system is manages devices communications via their respective drivers. As I already told you that in software concepts, the less drivers concepts is there. Okay, system software, and the system software we have operating system and application softwares, and next device drivers. So device driver means each and every device has its own drivers. Drivers means the information about the particular devices is written in the form of program inside the drivers. Drivers are nothing but it's also a software. Means how to operate, what is the thing that are going to be happen in the device is going to be written in the form of a program in the device drivers. So when you install the drivers in the computer, Okay, then only the operating system knows about the particular device that is going to be associated with the computer, whether it is internal or external, input, output, whatever it is. So it does the following activities for device management. The thing is, it keeps tracks of all the devices. Program responsible for this task is known as the input output controller. Okay, it is going to be keep tracking all the devices associated with the computer, attached to the computer, whether it is internal devices or external devices, with the help of the input output controller. And later the operating system is going to be decides which process gets the device when and for how much time. For example, you are going to work on the keyboard, so it is going to be decided for the processing time how much it requires for the keyboards and speakers and printers and everything. The devices which are going to be attached with this is and performed by the operating system is going to be processed, and it is decides which process gets the device when and for how much time. And next, it allocates the devices in the efficient way. Okay, so in this device management, the operating system is going to allocate the processing method to the devices in the efficient way, and also it deallocates the devices. As early in processor management and memory management, here also each and every device is going to be allocates and also deallocates the devices. Okay, next coming to the file management. File management is nothing but the information that is going to be stored in the computer, whether in the form of files and directories and all type of resources that are going to be stored in secondary memory. Okay, a file system is normally organized into the directories for easy navigation and uses. Easy navigation, and what is the navigation and how can you use and retrieve the information easily means, for example, in your computer there is a 80 GB hard disk is there. 80 GB hard disk is there. Among the 80 GB, 10 to 15 GB is going to be allocated for the operating system. 10 to 15 GB is going to be allocated for the operating system. Means they just allocate for the divide the 80 GB into 4 drives. Drive A, drive B, drive C, drive D. The 4 divided, so each drive is going to be allocated 20 GB memory. 20 GB memory. The first drive, the operating system is going to be stored. The first drive, the operating system is going to be stored. So it is going to be occupied some memory in the 20 GB. Let us take the 15 GB. Okay. So next 3 drives are B, C, D drives are there. So accordingly, in B drive, you are going to allocate your personal information. Your personal information, your images, your movies, videos and everything. In coming to the second drive, C drive, you are going to use the drive for your office purpose or college purpose or institute purpose, whatever it is. And next, the D drive, you can use the drive for the entertainment purpose, your music, songs, images, whatever it is. So accordingly, you are going to divide your system's hard drive secondary memory in 4 types. The first one is for operating system, and second one is for your purpose, personal purpose, and the third one is for official purpose or college purpose, and fourth one is for entertainment purpose. This is what the information that you are going to be allocate separately. The resources are going to be divided into 4 parts. So the thing is happened by this operating system only with the help of the file management. So what are the steps that are going to be taken? So immediately you no need to search for the entertainment purpose. So you want to immediately you want to see the movie, then directly you go to the D drive and you can retrieve the information from D drive. Why? Because the entertainment information is going to be stored in D drive. For example, you want to access the information regarding your office work or college work or institute work, whatever, then immediately you can go for it C drive, because the information related to your official work is stored in C drive. So for example, you want to access your personal information, your education details and everything stored in D drive. So directly you can go to B drive. So that is what the navigation. It is a very easy navigation to usage and retrieve your saved resources in the computer. So these directories may contain the files and other directions. Okay. So in B drive you may have the form of the files and directories and directions, and everything will be stored in the form of a files. So an operating system does the following activities for file management system. So what kind of activities going to be happen in this file management by the operating system are, okay, and here it is always keep tracks of the information. The file is going to be stored in which location. If it is a personal file, it has to stored in B drive only. If it is official information, it is going to be stored in C drive only. If it is entertainment file, then it is going to be stored in D drive only. So this is the way it always keep tracking by this file management system in a computer, like the locations. Locations means where the file is going to be stored, and next uses. So what is the purpose of the file and what is the status of the file, whether it is completed or not. So these kind of things and information is always going to be keep tracking by this file management system. And the collective facilities are often known as a file system, and also we can call it as a file system also. And the next decides who gets the resources, and it is going, the operating system is going to be, it decides who gets the resources. So the right person is going to accessing or not is going to be decided by this operating system is there. Why? Because in a software companies, a single system can going to be accessed by the multiple users. Okay, multiple users. So in a one computer there are 5 accounts maybe going to be existed. Okay, so the user 1 has to access only user 1 information only. Okay, so the operating system give the permission to the user 1 only to access his own files. Why? Because the information is stored of the 5 accounts, user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5. The 5 members can access one computer, so that the 5 members can create their own accounts in the form of user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4 and user 5. So operating system is here decides that what the user is going to access the what files. So user 1 is always going to be accessed is user 1 files only, and user 2 always going to be accessed user 2 files only. Accordingly, the user 3, user 4 and user 5. User 1 cannot don't have the right to access user 2 or 3, 4, 5 files, and also user 2 also don't have the rights to access the 1, 3, 4, 5 accordingly. So here operating system is decides only who is going to access the which files, and it allocates the resources and deallocates the resources. Means user 1 how it is going to be accessed only user 1 files only, user 2 always going to be accessed user 2 files only. This is the way how the operating system is going to be distributes and it decides the accessing the resources to the all users existing in the computer. Here, and also there are some more other important activities are there done by the operating system. Those are the security, control over system performance, and job accounting, and error detecting aids the coordination between other software and users. So security, you people very well known about the security, and you are aware of this security means as your mobiles and other devices are protected by the passwords. Okay, the passwords and the security issues are operated by this operating system only with the security option. It by means the password and similar other techniques, it is going to be prevent unauthorized access to program and data. Okay, it is going to be prevent and secure the data, okay, without accessing by the unauthorized persons. Okay, the user 1 has to access only user 1 files only. Okay, user 1 don't have the right to access the user 2 files. So this is what the security is going to be provided by this operating system only. And next, the control over system performance. It is going to be recording the delays between the request for a service and response from the system. So once the user requesting for one purpose to the computer, then it is going to be delayed. The process is going to be delayed. For example, user wants to retrieve the information from the computer or google.co.in, but it taking too long time. it is going to take in too long time to get the result. So this is delays are going to be recorded, this control over system performance. So later it is going to be adjusted by the moderators or other software engineers by this the softwares. And next, job accounting. Job accounting means it keep tracking of time and resources used by various jobs and users. Okay, so it keep tracking time and resources used by the various jobs and users. For example, in the computer, the number of people are going to use the computer. Okay, it is going to be created in the form of logs. At what time, what is the person is used in the computer. Okay, what are the job done by the user. Okay, what are the processes and processors are going to be done inside the computer in a particular time. So this kind of job is done by this operating system, form of a job accounting. And next, error detecting aids. The production of dumps, traces, error messages and other debugging and error detecting aids. Once the errors are and existed and the debugs are occurred, everything is going to be under control by this operating system with the help of the error detecting aids. Once any error is existed, then automatically it is sends the information to this a particular engineer, then he is going to resolve the issue and then it works, and then we make the work properly. And next, coordination between other software and users. The coordination and assignment of compilers, interpreters, assemblers and other softwares to various users the computer system. And also it is going to be coordinate in between the compilers, interpreters and assemblers. Already we had discussed in this software concepts. Okay, in assembly level language we have this kind of things, compilers, interpreters and assemblers. So it is going to be coordinate all these kind of softwares in between the users. This is what the main